I didn't read the document. That's the part people always focus on. As if everything that happened later can be explained by that one detail. But the truth is more uncomfortable than that. I didn't read it because I trusted the person who brought it to me. Because I believed that love and paperwork couldn't exist in the same space without honesty. The document wasn't short. It wasn't simple. It was several pages long, filled with dense paragraphs in formal language. The kind of writing that doesn't invite questions, it discourages them. I remember flipping through the pages slowly, not reading, just scanning. My eyes caught words that felt distant, legal terms, references to authority and representation. None of it sounded urgent. None of it sounded dangerous. It sounded official. And official things often feel safe, especially when someone you trust tells you they are. I asked what it was, again. Not because I suspected anything, but because I wanted reassurance. My son leaned back in his chair and spoke calmly. "It just allows me to help you, Dad," he said, "with the bank, with paperwork, with decisions if you ever need it." That explanation felt complete. Too complete to question. At my age, you learn to avoid unnecessary friction. You stop asking follow-up questions that might turn simple moments into uncomfortable ones. I didn't want to look confused. I didn't want to look incapable. And I didn't want to insult my son by implying he might be misleading me. So I nodded. I remember noticing that I wasn't wearing my glasses. They were in the other room. For a brief moment, I considered getting up to grab them. But then another thought crossed my mind. Why bother? If I trusted him enough to raise him, surely I could trust him enough to read a document on my behalf. That logic felt reasonable at the time. He slid the paper closer to me and pointed to a line near the bottom. "Just sign here," he said. The signature line looked like any other. Name, date, a small blank space. Nothing about it suggested finality. Nothing suggested permanence. I signed carefully, slowly, making sure my name was legible. That was it. No one explained that some documents don't require understanding, only consent. No one explained that legality doesn't depend on comprehension. I wasn't rushed. I wasn't threatened. I was simply guided. And guidance can be more powerful than force. After I signed, he collected the pages and placed them back into the folder. He didn't say much. Neither did I. There was no feeling of relief, no sense of closure. Just a quiet moment that passed like any other afternoon. If someone had asked me that day what I had signed, I wouldn't have been able to explain it clearly. I would have said, something to help my son take care of things. After all, I'm his father, and that answer would have sounded responsible, even wise. That's what makes this part so difficult to talk about, because nothing about that moment felt wrong. There was no villain standing in front of me, no obvious manipulation, just trust. And trust doesn't feel dangerous while you're inside it. It feels warm, familiar. It is only later, when consequences appear, that people ask why you didn't read. But by then, the paper has already done its work. I didn't to know that the document I signed didn't need my understanding to be effective. It only needed my name. And once it had that, it didn't matter what I thought it meant. Weeks passed. Nothing changed at first. Until one small thing did. If you think stories like this should be told, you can support the channel by liking this video. If you want to keep watching, subscribe to the channel. A new episode every day. Cool doesn't always mean fair.